Hello again and welcome to Chef Mel's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making an incredibly simple dish that takes less than 5 minutes from start to finish in terms of prep and cooking, and it's one of my favourite simple dinners to make when I don't have much time but I'm still quite hungry. It is a salad. Now I know a lot of you are thinking, salad, but this salad is probably about 1,000 calories each, because considering how much sort of lovely things I put on it. But salad does not have to be boring. I think, lettuce leaves, you can go for dark green leaves, which is what I like to do. I like to add cooked elements to my salad as well. And I think just when you hear salad, it doesn't just mean a few boring, limp iceberg lettuce leaves with a bit of grated carrot. There's so many nice things you can do with salads, and this is one thing that I wanted to show you, my favourite. So it is a bacon and camembert salad that I'm making today with a honey mustard dressing. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll just go through the ingredients here. So as I said, I'm not a huge fan of iceberg lettuce. I find it, I like it in a burger, but I find as a main salad ingredient, it's a bit boring. So I like this superfood salad mix, which is a mixture of spinach, rocket, julienne, which means very finely sliced, julienne beetroot, because it's got a bit more flavour and a bit more oomph to it, so it's not as sort of watery and sort of tasteless that I find iceberg often is. So this recipe serves two, and there's 120 grams in that salad. It's a main course salad, it's something that will fill you up. You got bacon. I'm going to be using half the pack to feed two people, so that's 150 grams. I'm going to chop these into thick lardons, which is like thick chunks basically, and we're going to fry that up in a minute. We're going to use camembert. You can use brie as well, but again we'll use half the circle of that, so that's 125 grams. These are really cool. They are a bit of a cheat. As I've said, this is a meal that I make when, I come home from work, really knackered. I still want to make something nice, but I want something that doesn't take too long to prepare. These are like these Bruschetta chips. My German neighbours gave these to me, actually. I normally sort of use I either make my own croutons or I buy shop bought. If you want to make your own croutons, just fry cubes of bread in a little bit of butter and oil and whatever spices. But these are these Bruschetta chips, which I'm quite interested to try. Me and my neighbours have had these sort of a swapping thing. Like they're German, and I make them a pie, and then they've made me this, and then I made them some cupcakes, and then they made me these amazing pretzel roll things. It's really cool. Anyway, so that's that. And then this is what you'll need for the dressing. So you'll need olive oil. You'll need cider vinegar, you'll need honey, and you'll need Dijon mustard. Now you can use whole grain mustard if you want, but I wouldn't use English mustard, as English mustard is a bit too peppery, a bit too strong for this. I'll go through how we make this. It's very simple, and all the ingredients and method are in full on the recipe brief. As you can see, I've plated half of my salad. I'm just going to do one for plating purposes, but obviously as this serves two, you'd plate up two. Little bit of advice: when you plate salad, try and not squash it down. Try and generate height. All my students will know this from working with me in the kitchen. It looks prettier, which is a big thing as well, generating height. But also a bit of a chefy secret is if you generate height on a salad, it makes it look like there's more of it there. So I've diced my bacon into sort of thick lardons, so I suppose that's my finger for scale. Thick lardons, and also I have cut half of my wheel of camembert, which is really nice and smelly, by the way. I love French smelly cheese, lovely. I've cut it into sort of wedges. Of course, in a professional kitchen, you'd use separate boards. You'd use a red meat for the raw bacon and a white board for the camembert, but this is just my domestic kitchen. I have of course washed my knife in between tasks and my hands all the time as well. So I'm just going to fry my bacon. So on a high heat, you just need to fry the bacon for about 5 minutes until the strips are really nice and crispy. You don't need to add any more fat to the pan, because the natural fat from the bacon will melt and help the rest of it cook. So as soon as your bacon is fried, you just need to quickly make the dressing. Really easy, the rule of one. So 1 teaspoon, a generous teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 tablespoon of cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And I'm putting it in a jar because I find this the easiest way. Instead of mucking around and whisking, a bit of pepper, a bit of salt and pepper. Instead of mucking around with whisking, you can just chuck it all into a jar. I'm just gonna seal that. Deep-a-dee. Cool. Then all you need to do is give it a good old shake. And you're just shaking that so it emulsifies, which again is emulsification, a nice posh word for when it all thickens up and it all combines together. Because otherwise, naturally, vinegar and oil will not stay together. You need to mix it for it to combine. So I'm just going to check that I'm happy with the seasoning on that. Oh, that's so good. Not that I'm boasting, but I'm so good. So I think we are going to be ready for plating now. So now we're just dealing with assembly. So you should do this whilst the bacon's still nice and hot. So I've got asbestos fingers. So scatter over that lovely crispy bacon. I'll tidy it up in a minute. And then let's put the camembert on next. So sort of dot the nice wedges around the plate. Let's have them there. Let's have maybe one in the centre. There, that looks nice. And then we're going to top with some of these lovely croutons. So these are like bruschetta crisps, so they're quite big, but they look really cool. It's nice again when you're making salads, try and think about alternating colours. You know, you don't just want one bland, boring colour. You want to make it look appetising. You want to make it look like a visual feast, because you eat with the eyes before you eat with your gob. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, and then last but not least, I'm just going to drizzle over the dressing. So, and always put the dressing on last and just before you're serving, otherwise everything else goes soggy. So I'm just going to drizzle that over. I wonder if maybe I should drizzle some just lightly around the outside so you can see it a bit more on the plate. That looks cute, yeah. Lovely. So that is bacon and camembert salad with a honey mustard dressing.